Hey guys, Jason here. In this video, I'm gonna give you 3 strategies to use so that you can get faster at playing downstrokes so that you can play more metal. Before we get into this awesome metal guitar lesson, which I really think is going to help you a lot, make sure you subscribe to my channel if you haven't done that already, and ding that little bell so you'll get the notifications every time I release a video. Alright guys, so we're going to start out with a very simple strategy to kick this off for the downstrokes. Now, I'm going to teach you how to play this riff right here. Kind of simple. There's a lot of chords in there, but we're kind of keeping it in the same area here. So first, do this. Palm mute that E string twice, or 10 times, but no, seriously, just do it twice. And then go to the B. And then play this. Now, just do that a few times. Let's just do it 7 times. 7 seems like a cool number. Crap, I think I played it 8 times. I don't know. I suck at counting when I get past like 3. Anyway, so practice that going from that palm mute to the power chord. And again, this is helping you with your downstrokes. And the reason why this little configuration here helps so much, because we're throwing in 2 techniques. You know, you're doing the palm muting and you're playing power chords. You're not just playing the same thing. Now, once you get that down, and if you're new at this, if you need to practice that more, you know, just play that. Now, don't worry about speed right now. We're just getting used to the motion, just getting used to our hand, just playing some downstroke metal. So once you get that down, then start integrating those other chords. And what I'm doing here is I'm going from a B, C, B, and to make it sound more metal, B flat. So it's like this. That's the first part of this little thing I'm teaching you. That B flat really does sound metal, doesn't it? It's pretty cool. It's kind of like old Metallica-ish. Anyway, so practice that. B, C, B, B flat. And we are palm muting twice on that E string in between those notes. Now, the second time around I play that, instead of that B flat, this is the only difference here. Instead of going to the B flat, I go to an E flat down here. So it sounds like this. Crap, I screwed up. Let's try again. So here's the whole thing. I'm going to kind of play this through slow. So you've got the technique down. That is downstrokes, playing 2 techniques here. We're just palm muting again twice on that E string in between those power chords. So let's play that one more time, but I'm going to kind of speed it up just a little bit with a power slide. Alright guys, strategy number 2. Now we're about to speed things up a little bit, and of course that's what this lesson's all about, is getting faster at playing downstrokes. So we're going to play what we just did. I'm only going to play the first part of that though, and we're going to double our palm mutes. So instead of, we're going to play it 4 times. Now, staying on that E string, palm muting more times, you should be able to build up the speed a little bit. So I want you to play this a little bit faster than what you were playing before. So try that. Again, we're going from B, C, then back to B flat. But we're palm muting 4 times in between on the E string. Get good at that, but then I want you to double the palm mutes one more time. So now we're going from 2 to 4 to 8. I think that's right. Yeah. So play it 8 times, palm mute 8 times in between those power chords. Now here's a question for you, and you can leave this in the comments. Did you notice that now that you're palm muting on that one string more times, did you notice your hand starting to give out and you're like, oh crap, I feel like I'm about to mess up? That's the key. That's why strategy number 2 here is so important. So again, we're just gonna double the palm mutes, go from 2 to 4, practice that 4 for a while, and then once you get used to that, once you build up your speed, bump it up to 8 palm mutes in between those power chords. Practice that 10 to 15 minutes every day. I promise you, you will get faster at playing downstrokes. Now for strategy number 3, and this is where things are gonna beef up a little bit. I do love some beef. So you heard the track, the full mix track I put in the beginning of this video. I was doing the power chord thing there, right? Dun, 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 dun. But then towards the end, I also did some riffing, and that's what we're gonna jump into. So I wanna show you a very simple riff, but we're playing downstrokes, and you're gonna kind of palm mute this as well. Here's what you're gonna learn. Nothing will get you faster at playing downstrokes than playing those single note patterns when you start riffing, because you're kind of syncing those hands a little more together, right? This hand here is moving a lot faster when you're riffing as opposed to just going to a power chord. So here's that riff. We're only using the E and A string here, and I'm just gonna call out the frets here. I'm going 0, 2, 3, 5. Then the next note is gonna be on the A string 2nd fret. Then I'm just gonna walk it back down. So it's just like this. Now notice my right hand, notice my picking hand, all downstrokes again. Now, here's a little trick when you're playing like this. This is what I do sometimes when I'm palm muting. You notice I didn't palm mute fully that first note. And then there's a middle note in there when I'm going back that I didn't fully palm mute either. So I kind of hit the note first. And before I go to that next note, I kind of slam it with my palm. Not slam it, but I kind of, throw my palm on there. Hear that? That's something that's a little hard to explain, but I think you get what I'm talking about. Just leave me a question in the comments if you don't get it, and I'll try to explain it better. But it's just a little technique that I've learned over the years that kind of not only helps me with the riff, but it also just makes the notes sound a little better because it gives it a little bit more fire. And see, I do the same thing when I get to that 2nd note on the A string, that 2nd fret, sorry. So practice that. Let's go through that slow one more time. Downstroke, riffing. Threw some alternate picking in there at the end of that. That's for another lesson. So now what I want you to do with that riff is start doing some similar riffing in other places on the fretboard there. If you want to take it down here or here. Just mess around with that, okay? Learn what I just taught you there up here. Learn what I'm teaching you, but then start expanding on that, because that's what's going to help you become not only a better metal guitarist, but just a better musician overall. Now, there's one thing that's crucial to do when you're practicing downstrokes and really just practicing in general. I want to encourage you guys to set a click track or metronome, or do what I do. I just throw on Easy Drummer back here in the studio, so it feels like I have a drummer. I can say, hey dude, I want you to play this. type in the BPM and that drummer plays that, even though there's no one there. It's like a ghost drummer, which is kind of cool. Anyway, so just set a BPM, set that BPM for your click track, or if you decide to use like a drum machine or whatever, and practice to that. Don't set it too fast, too soon. Too much too soon. It's like a relationship you're going into, but set it at like a reasonable BPM. Remember that movie Office Space?
I can play my radio to a reasonable volume.
I've got all kind of puns today, guys. No, really, do set it at like a reasonable BPM, and then start there and gradually build up your speed. And this is important, guys. Don't try to just go after them like, I'm gonna play as fast as I possibly can right now. Get used to the technique first. Get used to doing those palm mutes and integrating those power chords, or if you're playing the riffs, the dun 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 dun, if you're playing that stuff, get used to playing that, get used to using those techniques on guitar, and then gradually build up your speed. Gradually set that BPM a little bit higher. Start out at like 90 BPM, maybe jump to 100, maybe go to 120 next, and just keep climbing up. But get used to playing the techniques first, get that down, because at the end of the day, guys, it really doesn't matter how fast you can play if your notes aren't clear. You want to play with clarity, and this is something that I had struggled with in my beginning years of playing guitar. I started out playing super fast leads, for example, and I'm soloing all over the place, but there were some times that I was kind of sloppy, and I had some buddies kind of call me out. It's like, hey man, you're fast, but those notes are like jumbled together. And the same thing can happen to your rhythms. When you're playing rhythm guitar, make sure those notes are clear. And the way you do that is just make sure you have the technique down before you start speeding up. So I just kind of wanted to throw that out there. And guys, one more thing real quick. If you have not heard my recent album, Masterpeace, I'm actually wearing this shirt here. If you haven't heard that album yet, definitely check that out. I've got links in the description of this YouTube video. I am super excited about this album and so proud of it. And I thank you all who have supported this album the entire way. That was released back in September 13th. It was a Friday 13th, 2019. So make sure you check that out. I've also got links going to iTunes and Spotify, Amazon, Google Play, all those good places. That's in the description of this video. So guys, thank you so much for supporting this channel. And until the next video, as always, keep it metal.